Guys, Lex here, and just doing a quick video on the new Tholin Foulbeard fusion that's currently going on in Raid. So as you see here, got the new Tholin that's coming in. He's got a few abilities here, which actually I'll just bring up the little screenshot I've got here for. So he's a force attack champion in the Dwarfs faction. So his A1 is attacks all enemies before attacking, has a 25% chance of placing a 25% weaken for 2 turns. Has a 50% chance of placing a 25% weaken for 2 turns if the target is from the Corrupted Alliance, a boss, or a minion. Thus, this effect cannot be resisted by enemies from the Corrupted Alliance, bosses, or minions. Grants an extra turn if the weakened debuff was placed on all enemies by this skill. Now, just for anyone that isn't aware, we go to here. Corrupted Alliance, that is anyone from Demon Spawn, Undead, Dark Elves, or Knights Reverend. That's a lot of champions that can be used with this, again, like use this ability on, especially if it cannot be resisted if they're from the Corrupted Alliance. Now, with that in mind, there is other bits on this, like a grant an extra turn if every enemy gets the weaken. That is insane. But we'll come back to that anyway, only because the passive is also insane. So attacks all his A2 is attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit will ignore 25% of the target's defense if the target is from the Corrupted Alliance. Now, a boss or a minion, each hit ignores 50% of the target's defense. So basically, he's got his own Savage gear already built in on it. With that in mind, you can do Savage, you can do, I think it's Helm Smasher, and you can get the additional. Let me just double check that actually. Is it Helm Smasher? Yeah, Helm Smasher has a 50% chance of doing a 50% target decrease. So if you're running Savage and Helm Smasher, you're running a 100% decrease, if not at least 75% most of the time. You can get additional stuff from elsewhere, which then ignores it that way. So that'd be brilliant to see on his champion. Each hit decreases the target's attack by 5%, stacks up to 25, so it can make someone only do 75% of their full damage if they're an attack-based champion, and also increase his by 50%, which is sort of like a ninja, but without the passive. This is strictly on the A2 only, so the more you hit with the A2, it stacks up. And the Rabid Fury attacks all enemies 2 times before attacking, places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion. Each critical hit landed on the first hit increases the damage dealt on the second hit by 10%. It will also ignore unkillable and shield buffs. That this is actually quite good in arena, which means that you could use it if somebody's running unkillable. Whenever they get hit with a fatal hit, on the first run, sorry. Or, you know, it's like Thor's AE2, where that actually ignores block damage as well, sorry. So that'd be good. The next bit is activate his passive. So his passive activates Demon Breaker, which is his A1 skill, every 5th turn this champion takes. Enemies from the Corrupted Alliance, bosses and minions cannot land a critical hit on this champion. So that means anyone from said alliance, so the Corrupted Alliance here, can only land standard hits on the champion. With that, you know, some of the nukers are basically it can't, they're not gonna work. Just saying it as it is. And then obviously with the Aurora of increased ally attack in all battles by 30%. Now, my only question regarding his kit, looking at this, is going to be the activates Demon Breaker every 5th turn this champion takes. Now, his A1 itself, if the weakened debuff was placed on all enemies by the skill, it then grants him an extra turn. So activates Demon Breaker's skill every 5th turn the champion takes. So does that mean he'll activate it and get the extra turn? Oh, gone to the next slide a bit prematurely there. But yes, we'll have to see that when it comes out. Now, the only issue is even Hell Hades, I can't see the damage output there. I don't think it's been officially released yet. So we're going to have to wait and see what comes of that. But the next step is the fusion calendar itself. So with this, it's estimated you're going to need about 1,000 gems, or around 7,000 energy, and 20 to 35 million silver. Now on top of that, you're going to need the potions. So you need about 160 void lesser potions and 80 greater potions, 80 magic greater potions, and 24 superior magic potions for those epics to get those up. Now, the first step would be the Dungeon Divers tourney. And that's why this one's already gone past. It's Friday today, so I would say if you haven't done this, do this ASAP, because it's brilliant. They're in together and then work into the champ training. If you do have some extra energy, I would also recommend doing the event dungeon that is now open, because everyone loves the pinpoint gear from that. Second phase will be the Summoner Rush and the champ training. Again, I would run the champ training at the same time as a dungeon event, purely for the energy efficiency. And the Summoner Rush, you need approximately 3,000 points or 6 sacreds to get the... Actually, let me just check. I think it is actually 3,000, because it is there. Here we go. Oh, no, wrong one. Summoner Rush, here we go. Yep, you need 3,500 for the rare from this, which is going to be 7 sacreds. So 7 sacred, sorry, and then obviously work your way back with it. I'm gonna go for the epic just so I don't have to get the additional ones down the line. But what I would say is, if you are gonna go for each individual rare, please wait to fuse the epic and the champ chase down here, but we'll come to that shortly. The third phase would be the gear enhancement and the classic arena. You know, always run the classic arenas. It's you get the gold medals, you get to upgrade your GH, your great haul. You get extra stats for your champions anyway, but then obviously it's just an easy thing to run. It's not quite intensive, doesn't take up too much time. The gear enhancement, I would say run this at the same time as a champ training. So if you do a queue, you can do a champ training queue in the background auto battles, run it, and then do the gear enhancement in the front end whilst you're waiting for that champ training queue to finish. So you can get both of those done fairly quickly. There you go. So the next one down is the Ice Golem. I would personally hold off on these 2 days, or at least this day here, and then start it when the Dungeon Divers comes in. Again, just energy efficiency. They've left a massive gap here. There we go. And then going to the next one, you've got Gear Enhancement. Obviously do that as it comes out. Nothing against that. But then you've got the Dragon Tournament. The Dragon Tournament, again, I would wait that extra day. Or in this case, I think it might be 2 days. And run it just on that last day there where it lines up with the Dungeon Divers, just so you get both for energy efficiency. Then you've got the Champ Chase and the Champion Training. So the Champ Chase, you get free 250 points for every epic that you're fusing there. Now, I don't see why you wouldn't just wait to fuse them. So I would say wait until there to fuse them, and the epics that you do have, and then do the champ training at the same time. You can train them up, get them to level 550, fully ascended, and then boom, you've got all the ones you need for Tholin. And if you have enough of them, i.e. going for this epic down here as well, I would also say to do pardon me, I would also say to do Tholin and see if you can get him to level 6 as well. But if you're not going to go for this epic on the first Summoner Rush, then you get down to here, which then you end up with the dungeon and the classic arena takedown. Again, do the classic arena a little time, and it's a nice addition to have, and the dungeon event. I would run this. If you hold fire on this, I would run this the same as the Fire Night the next day. And then along that, again, you can do your background multi-battles now. So you can run the fire tournament and then do the gear enhancement whilst that's running in the front end. So just to show you what I mean, for example, if we go to... Where's Fire Night? There you go, I lost it for a second there. You're running Fire Night. Let me just get an energy back. Multi-battle. And you can do an edit queue, run it through, or because you're not doing the champ training, just do start background multi-battle, and whilst that's running in the background, it will allow you to go back to your champions, go back to your gear, do your gear leveling. It's going to make your life so much easier and so much quicker. If anyone does have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them as quick as possible. Obviously, I do plan to get this video up, so I'm planning just go through, maybe do a bit of snipping and editing, and then just shove it up just so that everyone has this for reference. If anyone has any questions, yeah, just let me know.